Hi, my name is Ursula Odom, and I'm going to share a little bit of my bookstore owner journey over the next several recordings. I have been in business for a little while and have a desire to grow and improve my craft and the things that I chose to do. And as I began to look at a lot of videos, I realized that I've done it a little bit differently than some. As I learned more about how others are doing it, I said, okay, I want to learn more about that, but I think what I've done will be of value to them as well. So that's what I'm going to share. Ursula's History Shop as a bookstore and a number of other things. So in other words, this is how we do it. Hope you enjoy it. So, welcome to Ursula's History Shop. This is the front door to my bookstore, and you will find out more about what that really is as well. I have two offices that turned into two storefronts with more than enough window space. Sometimes it's too much. Like I'm in a transition right now, getting prepared for an event, and things are kind of in a disarray. But it's in a breezeway in a strip mall, and which is interesting in and of itself. Getting traffic is my number one thing to focus on, and that was one of the reasons why I started looking at some of the videos to see what people were doing. And yes, I do need some additional signing, but this is it. I opened 2/2/22, so it's not been that long ago. But here is what I want to share with you as well. It is an eclectic place. In fact, when this photo was taken, there weren't as many books in the shop and could hardly be called a bookstore. It was more of an antique shop, because one of the things I did over the years is I collected a lot of items that had to do with dates and memorabilia, history related, and sold them online. And then when I had an opportunity to open the store, that's the first thing that came in here. But this is part of the story. I actually started my bookstore, my history shop as it is, because I was running a publishing company. And I was an author, so I was creating books for myself and for others. And all I really needed was an office, which is what I had in the same complex. But I was behind another store, a clothing store, in fact. And people would come past the regular store into my office to conduct business. And there was no need to have a storefront as such. So when I opened my store, it was because someone else had a bookstore in the area and decided to move out of town and take her business with her. And she called me, and I had not given it any thought prior to that, but when I thought about it, it was like, ooh, I like that idea. I had been in antique malls and had some presence with sales before, but never to have a storefront. And I looked at her particular office, and I'm sorry, her particular store, and I liked it, but right across from it were two side-by-side offices with windows. And I said, those are the ones I want. So I bugged management almost to death, asking about this unit or these units. And they had not decided on anything at that point because they were going through some transition themselves, but I just kept after it until finally they said okay. Now the interesting thing about this is really this is my office. I have two side-by-side offices is really what it boils down to. So 60% of what I was paying for the office is now what I have for a store. So opening up the store was 20%, no, I'm sorry, 40% more cost than what I was already incurring. And when I hear people talking about opening up a store with $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 of investment, and they have these huge places, I'm envious. Yeah, I am. But then again, I don't have the kind of overhead that they have to start, yet I have a business. So one of the things I realize is that the reason I'm still in business as a bookstore is because this is my office. And I get to have my things here for sale. And people come in and they talk about those things and about the business that they will be conducting with me. And it's also mutually beneficial because I have a storefront. People find me and they consider it a little bit more legitimate, quite frankly, because they can come in and find out what else I do. And they sit and they talk and they enjoy themselves looking around at all of this stuff and wondering how I collected it all. And that's part of the story too, but we'll talk about that another time. And so, yes, I morphed into a bookstore, partly because I wanted a place to showcase my authors and my own publications as well. So now I am entertaining other authors, those that I actually publish and those that I have not. This was the first author that I had not published that I allowed to have a book signing in my space. And we called it Books and Brunch. Financially, didn't quite work, but it worked in terms of a strategy to bring people in. So I've continued to do that. And I showcase my own authors, myself, and others. And when other people come in, they bring in a crowd with them or a tribe, their own personal tribes. And quite frankly, most of those people have never been in here before, never have seen the store, didn't know I do what I do. So even though I did not publish them, I get to publish maybe the people that they bring in. Because I'm someone that they can see, talk to, and hold accountable. So that works. The other thing that I think really works is that I engage with the community. This person came in, saw that I had a collection of Jet magazines, and he happened to be a Jet magazine. He was a Jet magazine photographer, and he photographed Jet beauties. So because he enjoyed sitting and talking with me the first time, he came back and brought 2 other beauties that he had recorded or photographed for real Jet magazines. And they brought their individual copies, signed them for me, and now I have this memorabilia. No, I'm not going to sell it, but I have it. And that is a happy place. It turned this into a happy place for me because I get to interact with people like this, not necessarily on an ongoing basis like you do when you're publishing somebody's book, but on an interactive basis, an intermittent basis, I guess, where they come in and they make your day and you make theirs. Another example is when people buy something from me. This happens to be a collection of tickets and photographs from the Broncos, and one of the guys in the area who stop in quite often likes them, and he knew all the story behind the individuals on the or in the artwork or in the collection or whatever you call it. And I was intrigued by that. So I recorded him. It's on my YouTube channel. He's talking about each one of these people, players like he knows them personally because he was around when they were, this particular group was active. And he knows the backstory. And that to me was worth letting it go for nominal price because he left with me stories that I appreciate. And half of what I do is to collect stories, and I'll share about that in a second. It makes for this being a place to come to talk about history. That's what it is. And that's why I named it Ersula's History Shop. Even though I do have specialties, it's all history, period. Now, looking at this, I realize I have grown a little bit, and it no longer looks like this. I've changed things around a bit. I use the bookshelf that's beside him as a divider at one point in time, and on the other side is where I had my quote office. Well, shucks, I don't need all that. So I have now opened that up so I could have more meeting space and use my laptop, as I'm doing right now, when I need to do business or work on my computer. So the big heavy stuff in terms of computer work, I still have at my office at home, but a lot of it gets done right here in this space as my office / store / presentation area, some of all of the above. Now, here's something that I do as a part of the office part, where I interact with people because they want legacy walls done. And that's what you see here. That is a legacy wall where my motto there is educate as you decorate. There's a lot of real estate out there that have these empty walls that people pass by all day long, and those walls could be telling the stories of a business, of a school, of a person. And most recently, I'm working on a residential one. But these can be fascinating pieces of information for the people that are associated with them. So that's what I do. I sit and I talk to people about their legacy walls. And this store allows me to showcase some of them so that people understand that that's what I do. And I perform Mary McLeod Bethune as a historical character, even though I don't have a picture of her in this particular presentation. I'll share that with you at another time. And you might wonder, okay, what is all this? Well, it's summed up as Sula Too. That's the name of my company, Sula Too LLC, and DBA Sula Too Publishing, because I am publishing information. And we say that Sula Too, we make old new in everything that we do. We capture, preserve, and present legacy information in any form possible. So all of this, even though it seems like it's a little of this and a little of that and a little of this, is history. So Ersula's History Shop pulls together all of the things that we do at Sula Too regarding history. It's the showcase, it's the show place for all of the work that's being done. It is the meeting place for discussions about history. And that history can be about individuals and their families, because I have a family reunion that's bringing a busload of people here this weekend. And I'm excited about that because I'm a family historian too. Found a way to enjoy my life doing all the little crazy things that I like to do and giving people an opportunity to share in that, because I have volunteers and I have people that are working with me that I absolutely adore. Thank you. Hope that helps. More next time. If you like this, let me know. Like it, share it, and tell me what else you would like to know about the kinds of things that I do. Have a great day.